Poštovani gledatelji i slušatelji, dobroveče. Dobrodošli u Klix studiju. Sa nama Mark Rutte, generalni sekretar NATO saveza u ekskluzivnom kratkom intervju za Klix. Mr. Rutte, welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you for taking time.
Yeah, since we are very time limited, I would kindly ask you to give us straight answers. We're quite
well,
upset.
You want from a politician to have short answers. I'll try.
Yeah, short. Keep it short and simple, please, and straight. How would you describe current crisis in Bosnia and Herzegovina? We heard today Mrs. Cvijanović repeating that the cause is High Representative Christian Schmidt. Who or what is the cause of current crisis?
Well, I must say I had good talks today. And I know that there are different views, and of course there are worries about the Dodik court case, the president of Republika Srpska. I know that, I realize that. And there are also different views about the High Representative and about the future of Dayton. But to be very clear, for me, for NATO, for the whole international community, the Dayton Peace Agreement is a given. The High Representative he fully supports. But my message today, particularly to the three leaders in the presidency, is if you complain about the High Representative, if you complain about Dayton, take matters into your own hands. Start to govern the country. Deal with the issues. And don't delegate them to somebody else.
Yeah, but that's the message you always repeat. You know,
because it's a very strong message.
You always repeat that it's up to domestic politicians.
Absolutely.
It's up to their dialogue among them, but there is no dialogue happening for years. And who should talk to Dodik at the moment? Would you talk to Dodik at the moment?
No, I don't. But simply put, you cannot basically complain about the fact that NATO yes or no, EUFOR yes or no. I don't think there are complaints about NATO or EUFOR, but let's say there would be, but there are not. But let's say then on the High Representative, on the Dayton Accord from 1995, all of this. And then not take matters into your own hand. I mean, these are senior politicians. They are high caliber. I know them all three. They are really of high quality. You are blessed as a country to have these three people in your presidency.
Okay, but you still haven't answered who is the cause of current crisis.
But why would you ask somebody from outside the country to be a judge on something which is an internal issue here to this country? I can only tell you that I firmly believe for the future of Bosnia and Herzegovina, that you stick with the principles. And the principles are the state institutions, to make sure that when a court has ruled, that you implement the court ruling, that you stick with some of those fundamentals.
It's a message for Milorad Dodik, first of all. It's a message for Milorad Dodik, first of all.
Of course, when I message this, but I try to be even-handed, I message this to everyone. And of course, there is this issue now with this worrisome situation in Banja Luka, in Republika Srpska. Of course, we follow that very closely. And there is an element of secessionism, which we are worried about. We don't want to redraw the borderlines of Bosnia and Herzegovina. But in the end, again, that is asking somebody from outside Bosnia and Herzegovina to judge what is happening here. And in the end, you are now 25 years since 1995. Sorry, 30 years since 1995, 30 years since the Dayton Peace Accord. And I would argue, take matters into your own hands. Start to govern the country. You are a sovereign country with territorial integrity.
What does it mean when you say we watch it closely? What does it mean when you say NATO is committed to stability? Could you be more specific and more precise? Under which circumstances is NATO ready to act?
We will not accept another security vacuum. That's clear. And we will always do what is necessary to make sure that we contribute to the stability of this country. But again, what NATO is doing here, particularly and primarily, is helping you to build up your armed forces, to build up the whole security system, to advise on how to best take this country forward in terms of its own defense. By the way, you could spend a bit more on defense. You only spend 0.8%, which is far too low, even lower than Luxembourg. So please do more. Can I make use of this opportunity to request that from your citizens and call your politicians? Tell them you have to spend more on defense. But this is what NATO is doing here. And at the same time, of course, nobody will accept another security vacuum in this country. But let's not get to that point. Make sure that you take matters in your own hand before.
Okay, I got it. But let me then be more specific. Are you ready to assist local agencies in arresting Milorad Dodik if needed?
What you now will do is get me in all these what-ifs, and I won't get there. That doesn't work. NATO has a clear mandate here, but I'm not going into all these what-ifs, because at this moment there is a court ruling. as far as I understand, there has been a potential request for a higher court to again look at the case, or that is still in the working, that might still take some time. So not up to me to go now one step by step. I was Prime Minister of the Netherlands, I'm now the Secretary General of NATO, but I'm not the President of Bosnia.
In the name of Bosnian citizens, and regarding that, most frequent question nowadays, Mr. Rutte, by citizens of Bosnia and Herzegovina is this country heading back to war?
No, you should not be heading back to war, and I don't believe the country is heading back to war, no. And there is nobody in this country who wants it. I have not spoken to one politician today, from whatever walk of life, from whatever group of people in this country who wants to go back to war. And there is a clear commitment by the international community to stay involved in Bosnia and Herzegovina, including NATO, including the European Union, including the UN. You have seen the statements from the State Department from the United States. We are all on one page here, and that is a call on this country to make sure that you keep yourself
We're running
stable.
out of time, sorry. So can we really trust you? Because we remember previous times when you once, unfortunately, I have to remind you, let us down and then genocide happened. Will it happen again? We're afraid of that.
I'm absolutely convinced war will not return to Bosnia and Herzegovina, but only if we work on this collectively and to prevent this. But you cannot delegate this to outside institutions. The outside institutions, outside Bosnia, including NATO, will stay committed firmly and squarely with this beautiful country and with its huge potential for the future. But you also have to make sure, and this is also a call I do upon the citizens of Bosnia and Herzegovina, whatever group they come from, because in the end they are individual citizens of this country, to take responsibility and to stick with the politician and tell them you have to take. You have to show leadership.
But as one student today mentioned, this is the constitution and situation international community kind of made for us. So
no, you were there, and this came out of the terrible war between '92 and '95, where so many people lost their lives. Nobody wants to get back to that. And for the young people I saw today and the students, we want for them to have a future in this country, to start their businesses here, to start their art, their whatever they want to do in politics or in academia or being an artist, to do it here and not in some other country, because here is their future, and that's what you have to work on. And we will help, but don't delegate it to an institution outside Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rutte.